to do today is like give the history of this thing. We've done bits and pieces over time, and this is going to be my interpretation, because when I'm trying to translate Cherokee, it gets really difficult, because the word for fire in Cherokee is Ajila. That means fire. Now, the word for light is Ajila. Same word. What changes the meaning is the context in the sentence. And that doesn't always do it real well. So, this red fire is unless you're talking real formal, and then it's and in everyday talk, this is the same, so you just run it.
Can you pronounce it?
Igachila. But if it was standing in the ceremony and talking formally, it would be Giga Achila. So I say during everyday talk, it's Giga Achila. But the ah, the beginning, the end and the beginning is the same. So when we're looking at this, I forgot it erased.
Isn't there? There's one sitting on top of the things. Right, top shelf in the middle. No, right in front of it. Snake bite.
Ah, biting them.
I'm glad it wasn't a snake.
That helped.
Somebody's got to go out and clap.
Yes.
Cherokee is, quote, a conservative language, because one word can be used in so many ways to describe something. So when you get to translating into English, it can get difficult. Now, the red fire originated spell that wrong.
I always spell that wrong.
Just put Seven Sisters.
I don't know if that's right either, but it's the Pleiades.
I don't think there's an either.
I think it's Eiades.
Okay.
And the old story is that there was a war here on Earth, and the people here on Earth were losing this war with the
I'm just going.
G-Skili. Now the G-Skili have been interpreted in numerous ways as the reptiles, the reptilians, just on and on. But what G-Skili means is a person, an individual, a thing that commits acts to intentionally harm other people. Now there's also the word skill, and Cherokees get really pissed off if you call it a skill. And what this means is a person who has committed an act that unintentionally causes harm to other people. So, at various times, everybody is a skill at one time or another. And if you really want to get a good family thing going, when you got the group together, so you are a skill. That generally leads to entertaining conversation.
Or physical activities.
Yeah.
A question, Ernie.
Say, I'll show you a skill.
I have a question. When the Pleiadians, Pleiadians, the correct pronunciation, when the Pleiadians came down to help the humans, was this at the time? Is there an idea of the time frame? In other words, the Atlanteans put together something that they fought against reptilians and lost, and that's when the reptilians took over. So is this at the same time, or is this an earlier conflict?
My understanding from listening to the story is this is before that.
Or before that?
This goes really way, way back.
So
And,
millions of years.
And people, we're not cave people. We're talking,
Yeah.
you know,
Highly
we
advanced.
had pretty good civilizations going, because these happened several times in the story. But initially, it was composed of these volunteers from each one of the solar systems of the Pleiades. And I find that interesting. They were volunteers. Yeah, so to my way of thinking, this gives you some kind of insight into what the Galactic Federation,
Right.
or something that says, apparently, okay, we can't
Draft.
take an official stance here, but you know, kind of like World War I, if you should want to go up to Canada and join, that's cool. You know. So that's what happened there. So like I said, I find that interesting. Anyway, came down here and engaged in the battle, and their mission was not to win, but to restore the balance. And I find that interesting in the story. We don't want you to go down there and destroy whatever these were. We want you to restore the balance. And then there's all kinds of individual stories about different battles and lights and all this, that, and the other. The one thing that we do know, the big topic is something broke, and they couldn't get back. They were, however it was they got here, they couldn't get back. And they were known which is what the Cherokees called themselves forever. The Ani-G like it. And Ani people, G, which Aji, fire, or light, and Agi. Agi means I have, I possess. That's been translated over time as keepers. Basically, I mean, it shows possession. Agi, I have. People that a more proper translation would probably be people that possess light. Now, what was this light? What was this fire? Okay, according to the story, what made these volunteers stand out from everyone else in this big war that was going on it was their swords. When they pulled their swords, there was fire or light. It depends on who's telling the story. The way some people tell, it was burning flame. The way others tell it was light. When they pulled the word wasn't sword, it was their knife. It was light. And with that light, they could do anything. They could cut stones in half. They could heat stones so that you had heat on a cold night. Kind of like, in my imagination, the guys on Star Wars.
The lasers, lightsaber?
Yeah, the guys that carried them around.
The Jedi.
Yeah, the Jedi, Obi-Wan Kenobi and all that. So that there's not any real disagreement on where it was just kind of, don't know if it was a flaming sword or light, it means the same thing. So that's where they got this name. Keepers, people that have the light. And apparently, in the fight, it made a big difference. And they were able to restore the balance. So they didn't come here to destroy whatever these were. And how they restored the balance, the stories are gone on that. All we know is that there's these various stories of different fights, and so became a hero on this day, and so was lost. All kinds of different stories. But they managed that part, restoring the balance. And over time, this kept getting shortened. So it went from Ani-Ji Lagi to Ani-Ji. Everybody shortens words in conversation if you can. Now this is one of those, we call an apocalyptic story, that over time, this word got shortened to it makes sense to me. I don't know. Could be wrong, but I can kind of see the evolution or the devolution, however you want to put it. And so the quote fallen angels that the Bible talks about is us. Because we got here and couldn't get back. And nobody came to get us. You know, it was like, I could just see the picture, hey, you go on here, and oh, by the way, if you get caught, we never
Disavow any knowledge.
And I think that might be kind of what happened, and the oral histories that translated into that. Because, you know, the king couldn't get back. And there's a whole philosophy there that would take hours to cover, but that's kind of a short. There's several theories floating that all come to this place. And that everything that's been prophesied in the world is the science that's going to guide us back to where we came. And then you layer on religion and everything on top of that, it gets real complicated. But the bottom line to the story is so somehow, in the midst of all of that,
Ernie, did they ever talk about how they got transported here? Because that's a long way away.
well, it's not covered in any of the stories except for and it's got to be a fragment of a bigger story, but no one that I know of remembers the whole story. That the way to get home, is you go from the earth to from the earth to the Big Dipper. From the Big Dipper, you go to from Orion's belt, you go to Sirius, and from Sirius, then you can go on home to the Pleiades. Now, isn't that interesting?
That's fascinating. But
Because
that's
if
gotta
you
take
look
some
at
time.
the night sky, it's kind of like, okay, go from here to the Big Dipper, and the old story is, see, the Big Dipper in Cherokee, it's God.
It's
And
serious.
the dog takes you across the Milky Way to Orion's belt, and then to the dog stars, and then to the Pleiades, back home. In my mind, with what I've seen in the movies and read here and there and watched all the science fiction, to me that looks like jumping through what they call stargates.
It is.
From here to here instead of a straight line. Apparently, a straight line would take too long for whatever the reason is. And then this is, and I said, that's all there is to the story that I'm aware of. The rest of it who knows what happened, fell off here, fell off there, but we kept this part. This is the road map home. I've always found that really interesting. So the way they got here, you just reverse that. Boom, boom, boom. So, if it was a Stargate or whatever it was, or if these are wormholes and they were flying ships or whatever, the gate somewhere here got broken. Something happened.
And there's been a lot of stories about a broken gate here, but nobody's ever explained it this way.
Yeah. And so they couldn't get back, so then they became Earthlings. Somewhere during this time, somebody took their sword and lit a fire. They said this fire symbolizes us as a people. It symbolizes all of our spirits and intentions and everything. So we'll always keep it burning. And so, someone was always assigned as the fire keeper to keep this symbol going. Okay, in the stories that I know, it disappears. There's this enormous gap from this point here, and the next place it picks up is Egypt. And I don't know how many years there are in here, but I think it was thousands. Maybe even more, because this is predating Atlantis and Lemuria. We have stories about those people.
It would have to be at least 100,000 years, and it could be significantly longer.
That's what I said. A long time. There's this enormous gap where the stories that I learned and that my elders taught me pick up again in Egypt. This is where the fire was kept. The fire was kept in the temple in Egypt. And I got to digging around once in my younger days, and I can't remember which temple it was now. I want to say to Ra, but I'm not really sure. But one of them, the fire, the sacred fire, was kept. That's where it was, in this temple. Okay. So everyone knows it's there, and I find it interesting that the Egyptians are interesting because they were cosmopolitan people. And when I first heard that, I was like, what? And basically what it means is kind of like America. You come here, you hang out for a while, and then meet all the requirements, and you're in America. It was the same thing in Egypt. It was like very mixed. You know, you look at the pictures and the statues and stuff of the different pharaohs and kings. Some of them white, some of them black, some of them brown. They were a mixed people. And nowhere in our stories does it say that's us, which I find interesting. Where we pop back into the story is with Joseph, the son of I'm a minister. I got to remember this. The son of Israel. I mean,
Israel, yeah, for
but
sure.
I'm trying. I think his name was Isaac before he was Israel. Don't quote me. But
Ernie,
Joseph, he's the one that gets sold off into slavery by his brothers. And everybody's heard that story. He interpreted the king's dream and all this, that, and the other. Yeah.
I'm getting where this has all happened and it wound up in Egypt and where it's going. But when we talked about the war that was fought, where the hell was that?
The whole earth.
The whole earth? Oh crap.
Yeah. The whole earth. And in the process of that war, apparently it was a nasty war. And that may be what that Hindu book, is it the Bhagavad Gita, or one of
Bhagavad
them,
Gita, where Krishna,
that they're just talking about, where, there was this burst of light, and you could see the elephants' skeletons, and then they were reduced to ashes. And when they find that place, like, it's desert now, and the sand is glass, it sounds like a nuclear blast, or maybe something even more powerful. So I'm in my mind, it goes back that far where the quote gods are fighting.
right.
And the Aniji, like he were the angels on one side. And there's no real distinction in all of these different stories about whose side we were on, other than we were on the side of light. We were on the side of the fire. So it's open to all kinds of interpretations, and I think it's meant. Anyway, this guy comes along, like I said, we've heard all the stories about how he interpreted the dream and this, that, and the other. But the dude got married, and he married I start writing this stuff down. I'm getting old. Damn. Anyhow, the high priest's name was Potiphar, and his daughter is who Joseph ends up marrying. And so you hear all this stuff from your Christian teachers and all, how, it was the Jews and this, that, and the other. And these guys are predating the Jews. There are no Jews yet. They're just, some people say Hebrews, and then there's another word for it, Hebraic or something. But anyway, these are pre-Jews. So this whole thing ain't locked up in the Jews. This whole God thing ain't just theirs. This is kind of like, and they have 2 sons. Manasseh, and I think it was Ephraim, something like that. I didn't put all this in my head. Okay, Joseph is one of the 12 brothers of Israel here, and he's got this brother named Judah. This is where the Jews come from. All the Jews that are happening today trace themselves back to this guy. And Judah, he was like apparently the ultimate Jew, the man, according to the Jews and according to the Christians. However, if you read the Bible, Judah had a few problems. One was Judah really liked, because he had a wife. He liked the women as well. And so he was famous for visiting women. Well, one of his sons, he had 3 sons. And the youngest one, can't remember his name, something like Benjamin or something. Anyway, he picks this girl to marry this boy. And so they have the big wedding, and the boy dies on the wedding. The marriage ain't consummated, and so now we're down to 2, and according to the rules of the Jews at the time, of the Hebrews, the next son,
It's the wife.
and it was the oldest son that he picked. Anyway, the next son takes the wife. Okay, so it goes down to son number 2, and he dies. The wedding just happens, and boom, the boy is dead. And so now it goes down to the youngest son. And Judah says, hell no, we're going to change the rules. And so he tells this girl, who's not a Jew, that he's picked up, you're bad luck, you're out of here, and ships her back home. And keeps the dowry. Apparently the woman had to pay a lot of money to marry. The family did. And he, no, it's mine. Y'all sent me a bad apple. Life is hard. Get over it. About a year later, Judah's got a meeting up in that town the girl was from. And the girl's mother says, all right, I know how we can fix this. What do we do, Mom? So, Mom goes and gets a tent, a pavilion that the temple virgins use, and sets it up on the side of the road because she knows Judah's going to be coming up. Judah's strolling up there with his slaves and all, and like, checks this girl out. All right, boys, go get my room, set it up, I'll be there shortly. And does his thing with this temple prostitute. And according to the Bible, he couldn't recognize a customer wearing a veil. I don't know. Maybe they had poor eyesight back then. I don't know. Does his thing and passes out. Apparently he had some help passing out by something that Mama put in the wine. So when he wakes up, the girl's gone, the tent's gone, he's kind of laying there, bare ass on the side of the road, puts his clothes on, and he can't find his staff, and he can't find his signet. And he's kind of embarrassed by this, so he don't say nothing. And goes and has a big meeting with his other brothers and all, and they decide whatever they're going to decide. And about 8 months later, someone comes cruising into Judah's town and says, hey, you know that girl, the wife, should be the wife of your youngest son? Yeah. She's pregnant. He's like, what? Yeah, she's pregnant. Pretty far along. Looks like she's going to have to drop a kid any day. Judah goes off, goes nuts, sends her to drag her in here. I'm going to have her stoned. Drags her in and calls all the elders of the people together, and this woman here, blah 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 blah, and she needs to be stoned. And someone with a little bit of sense says, "Hey, look, before this goes down, will you at least tell us who the father is?" And she said, "No." You're like, "What do you mean, no? What's the matter now?" She said, "Well, he's a very important man, and I don't want to embarrass him." It's all a little bit convoluted. Finally, she says, "What? Here's what I'll do. I'll give you his emblems of office that he left, and you decide what to do." So they all agree to that. Jude is the first one. "Bring him in. You're all hanging." So Mom brings in this carpet that's rolled in, rolls it out, and ain't nobody in the room does not know who this belongs to. I'm like, "All right, Jay, what's up? What are you going to do now? You going to go hang yourself or what?" Well, suddenly, like, they can bend the rules once more. And he's all, "Oh, wow. Well, she has 2 kids. 2 sons. One is I forget the other ones. But Judah's been kind of humiliated here, so he don't want these kids around because they remind him of his major screw up in the world. So he gives them to his brother Joseph and says, "Can you raise these guys?" Now, in the interim, a little factoid I let slip by. Pharaoh has died. Joseph is now Pharaoh of Egypt. People say, "Hey, man, we want you to be our leader." Now, that was said to be a myth and a legend for ages. And in the late 90s, on international TV, they uncovered the tomb of Yosef in Egypt that they had just recently discovered. Hadn't opened yet, so they were going to do it on Fox TV and had a big production. It was just no longer is he a myth. He became Pharaoh of Egypt. Now, this has screwed up all of their regular history because this is supposed to be a hereditary thing, and this guy got elected by the people. This is like, okay, we're not going to rewrite the history books. Who really is going to get it in? So he becomes Pharaoh, lives to a ripe old age, and he dies. And now, prior to his death, his daddy dies. And his daddy says, "Bring me your 2 sons," or something I want to do. It's on his deathbed. And so Joseph brings in the 2 boys. Daddy processes them. And Joseph says, "No, Dad, you got it wrong. His right hand's supposed to be on the eldest son. The left hand goes to the next." He crosses his hands. And Joseph says, "No, Dad, you're blind." He says, "No, I know what I'm doing." So, to the youngest one, whose name in Egyptian is Zara, he gives him the right to the rulership. The youngest one, and this is where it gets a little fuzzy, nobody's real sure, because name in Egyptian is Tara. Well, we also know that the first kid that was the twins that was born to the wife that Judah was trying to screw over, the girl he was trying to screw over, was Tara. And that Judah gave them boys to Joseph, so we don't know if by this time they're so melded in, they're just, or if one of these two is named Tara in Egyptian. There's room for debate. But this is what we do know is the name of the two. Anyway, to him, gave the right to the priesthood. Think about that. When you study the Bible, this doesn't come till later with Moses. And Moses creates the priesthood in the tribe of Aaron. But here, it's already done. This is a long time before Moses. A long time before Moses. Somewhere after Joseph dies, these guys, the Hyksos, come riding into the picture, and they are just whipping ass. And I've heard various theories. They think it was the Iraqis. They weren't Iraqis at the time. Whatever that was at the time.
Persian.
Some anyway. Come riding in here, and after Joseph dies, the leadership gets split between those two. Don't know exactly how, but they're co-ruling. These guys come in and defeat the Egyptian army, and apparently that was a big deal back then. And their common form of handling this situation is kill the king. So that's what they're going to do with these two guys. When their priests say, whoa, don't do it. Unheard from God, not a good idea. Really? Now supposedly these guys are like heathens and everything and ain't worshiping the right God. According to the Bible, but God tells them don't kill these guys. Exile. So they get exiled. The Xerxes or whoever it was says, I've been advised not to kill you guys. Here, take your families, take your servants, take your slaves, take your relatives, and get out. Here's the boats, everything you need. Here's food, here's your flocks. And so a fleet leaves Egypt. These two guys. Now they stop in I think I have that right.
Close enough.
It's that. It was known as Iberia, Spain now. Okay, making a break or whatever they're doing. This guy says, I'm staying here. This is where I'm going to establish the new kingdom. And, you know, a couple of years from now, we'll go back down to Egypt, kick their ass, and take it back. And whatever. Anyway, he founds his city there. Zaragoza, Andalusia, now Zaragoza, Spain. You can go there. I've been there. They'll tell you the story of how this whole thing happened. the city of Zara. And that's not Spanish, it's those guys that's always fighting Spanish. It'll come to me at some point in the middle of another part of what I'm talking about, and I'll shout it out there and you'll wonder what's wrong with it. Well, they've got truce going on right now, but they've been at war with Spain for like forever. Try to
Portugal.
take out Franco, God, the real famous. Anyway, we'll move on. This guy says, this is a desert. Now, his brother said, where do you think it came from? And he says, well, now this is not for me. We're going on. So they get back on the ships, take off, sail around Iberia, and they come to a place, and they settle there. Okay, this is where I'm going to establish my new kingdom. Back in those days, where he went to, it was called 10 Isles, was it 9, 10, or whatever, I guess it's whatever your mind to make 10. That's where he lived. Okay, we know that place now. Ireland. The ancient capital of Ireland is Cork. And even today, when whoever gets elected president gets elected, they have to go to the hill of Parliament and take the oath of office. It's still there. When they left, but remember now, his descendants are in Joseph's family, so these guys are learning all there is about the sacred fire. And when they're exiled, what do they take with them? What do the Hyksos not want there? That old religion. So they take the fire with them. So the fire is now in Spain and Ireland. Temples are reestablished there. In Zaragoza, you can go to the cathedral there, and they're very proud to show you on the floor. They have it covered up the foundations of the ancient stone circle, which was the first place they had established the Papa. Even though it's a Catholic cathedral, the spire is God's holy Bible. It's still there, which I think is kind of cool. That's kind of cool. So now it's moved from Pleiades to Egypt to Spain and Ireland. So that's a good place for